What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of the Aggressively Average Anglers. We are live. Sans Chaz. You guys want to know something terrible? Slash kind of like a crazy turn of events. Chaz like almost burned down his house with his Ethernet machine. Basically, he sent us a picture like an hour ago of just a burnt up Ethernet cable, like just fully melted. And he just goes, guess I won't be on the live tonight. So yeah, there's no Chaz tonight. We're still gonna have a lot of fun with you guys. And you know what? We're talking frogs. Is it cold outside? Sure. Is there ice on all of our lakes pretty much now? Yes. And are we going to go ice fishing probably this weekend? Yes, also that. Should we be talking about frogs? Yeah, why not? Like all I'm dreaming about is basically summertime. Like, we were talking about what to do this episode on earlier this week. And we are just tossing around some ideas because we want to get back to kind of the grassroots, aggressively average anglers. The purpose of this is to pick a tactic, do some research on that tactic, learn some new things, share with y'all, and then ideally later on in the year, we'll be able to like put it into practice right away and do some videos on it. That's going to be a lot of fun. And immediately what came to my head, frogs, because I'm just like, I wish it was really warm and sunny outside. I do want to go ice fishing. I am excited to get on the hard water. And I wish it was summer. So I can't have everything all at once. Why is that, Paul? Can you please
Science, mostly just science.
I don't believe in that.
Well, you do because you can't have frogfish and ice fish at the same time. So you do. Yeah, you do. Look, I love frog fishing. Yeah. I actually feel like I really suck at it, but then if I'm by myself, I'm quite good. It's a really weird.
If you're by yourself, you're
very good at frog fishing.
If you're by yourself, you're quite good.
Isn't it weird?
You get it. You get it.
But I am glad we're talking about this. I feel like frog fishing is. Yeah. Let me say this. It's one of the easiest things to, I feel like, understand. All of the concepts are like, they make so much sense when they're laid out simply. There is something about somebody who's a very good frog fisherman versus somebody who's just like grabs a frog occasionally. Yeah. And there's no question about it. Like when you see somebody like a Debo or whatever, who's like, I love to frog fish. If I could only frog fish, I would only frog fish. They're so much better. And they catch so many more fish on frogs than the other guy who's like, I have frog fished. And when they're side by side, frogfish guys he's smoking.
So here's what we talked about earlier this week. I was like, you know what I would love to do is from like, the warmer weather months where it makes sense, from like late spring to early fall, I would love to have a frog tied on every single trip we go out. And it was something that I feel got, just slid to the back of the lineup.
Oh yeah,
this year or 22.
Plastics made a huge push last year for us. I don't know why, but plastics was like on both of our brains the whole year. It like we never went away from it. Like we went away from body baits in a big way. We went away even from jerk baits in a big way. Flat side only came out like 3 times last year, and I got catches on them. Catches on them. Even bladed jigs. Took a back seat 2-3 days, maybe. I mean, it was amazing how all that stuff. It was just plastic. So yeah, I think we're having a regret. It's not a regression, a succession.
Yeah, no, we're growing. Our goal this year would be to use a lot more of the items in the tackle box instead of like falling into that comfort zone. And I mean, again, going back to the transition of the show, that's why we changed the name of the channel. That's why we switched up the podcast. So yeah, I mean, we realized where we were and we want to break out of that little tiny box that we made for ourselves. So anyways, without further ado, we're talking frogs tonight. As always, the show is sponsored by Monster Bass, as well as some of our other amazing brand sponsors. We got Akuma and Buzbe and Waterland. If you guys, look at that. We just recorded a video on these quick cubes that I'm pretty excited about.
Dude, I am so jacked and I can't wait. So I'm leaving all the stuff out because I'm going to be making some short videos on the different quick cubes. Well, that's why I've left mine unpacked. Fair. So we got, I'm going to move my mic so I don't bash it. We got from Caleb, spoiler alert, this is the large. We got a couple of these. We got a couple of the deeps, which I have over there. And then we got a couple of the mediums and the medium deeps. So we have some stuff to play with. And I am jacked to show you guys some of the ideas we have for using this gear.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. So there's a video dropping on that pretty soon. We just got our annual re-up from Akuma, so you guys might have seen some pictures going around. We recorded that. It took an hour and a half to film this thing. So, and that's just a recording. Now we got to go ahead and edit it. We got the new Japanese line. We've got a bunch of different reels, rods, a heck ton, dare I say, a butt ton of lures. The whole nature series, ITXs, Komodos, Hikais, like it's a fun video. Like there's a lot of gear in there, and that should be going up Friday, right? We're doing that
I believe so.
Friday or Monday. We'll say
Yep.
one of those two. Yeah, we got some stuff that we are adding to our giveaway pile. I'm sorry, schmiveaway pile. I gotta keep saying that word, get used to it. But
I know.
here's the deal, you guys. End of the show today. We're gonna do our typical monster bass giveaway. Yeah, there's that tailspin. I just posted that thing today. So we'll do our MB giveaway for a $25 gift card. I am stocked up. You know why? Because Rafi's back.
Rafi is back. We're back in the saddle. We're getting taken care of now.
Yeah. So Rafi got us, like, I think I have, I don't know, a dozen or so gift cards. So I'm lined up for a while. We'll do that at the end of the show. And new rule, because you guys have been crushing it, we got to get to 125 viewers. So if we hit 125, you guys hold that line for a couple minutes, I'll be good with it. We'll do a bonus giveaway, which is schmiveaway, which is probably going to include, I don't know, a whole bunch of these things that I still have. Lots of them. Whole bin full.
I do have a lot. Yeah.
All the pokey hooks you could ever want. There's some frogs in there. It counts for today. So, I posted on our community page, but yeah, if you guys want to do me a favor, just share this around. Help us out. Make sure people are popping on the stream. As always, if you want to support the show, we got the members option. So you can join us for a members only chat next Tuesday, Valentine's Day with your boys. And then we've also got super chats on. So, feel free. Appreciate you guys. Let's dive in. So we've got a Q of the D today, and you wrote this, so you read it.
I do.
Tell me.
I like this one. So most of the would you rathers are like two awful things. So I switched it up.
Okay.
Today's Q of the D. I love this. Today's Q of the D. Would you rather have perfect hook setting instincts, or would you rather be a world-class fish fighter? So like once the fish is hooked, you're like you're like a wizard. This is just your wand. You're a wizard.
Yeah.
Or you just have, for whatever it is, you just know there's a fish there.
Yeah.
And it's not one of these like, it's just like every time you just look like you're in a movie.
Wait, that's a hook set instinct.
The hook set.
Right.
Yeah,
I got you.
That's your always.
Okay.
Which one would you rather have?
My gut says hook set. My gut is saying hook set because I definitely feel, especially with like ice fishing, but in general, I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunities.
So many.
There's like, you should have set it then, and you set too late or too soon or not at all.
Can I say this is a trap?
It's a trap. What's
you
your trap?
fell into a trap that I built.
So did Chat. Chat's with me in the trap. Chat.
So
we're trapped in the trap.
I like this because I feel like the trap was, as a finesse fisherman, this makes a lot of sense because you're very aware of all the bites that you like. You're essentially trying to capture every bite, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Like, I'm going to accomplish my lifetime goal of never missing a hook set. But hear me out. This is just a hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
On the other side, if you're catching most hook sets already, where I think it would be great to be a world-class fish fighter. Couple of different timings. One, ice fishing. You said it, and I thought that's what you were that's what you meant. Ice fishing, it's actually pretty difficult to fight a fish out of the ice. It seems so simple. Yeah. It can be challenging.
Especially bigger fish.
Yeah. Another one, giant smallmouth in the river when you're in a boat or like some sort of vessel. It would be really, really nice. Also, when you catch a PB, I would like to be the world's best fish fighter. Could you imagine having like your personal best one on a jerkbait with only one hook and then like losing that fish, or being the world's best fish fighter and like having a very good chance of landing that fish?
I mean, I think
I would, as much as my gut told me perfect hook set, after thinking about it while I was writing it, I was like, I think I'd pick fish fighter.
Okay. So after you've said that, I still say hook set. I feel like
There's no
I
bad
feel
answer. There's no
yeah,
bad answer. Hey, do you want to be really good at this for this? Yeah, sure.
one of those, I would
All right.
acquire a new
Not bad.
skill and then I could work on my other skills. So yeah, I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. I still think the hook set would be rad because I feel like if I'm that good at the hook set, my
You're
loss
getting
of fish is pretty
you're
low
sticking them.
anyways.
Yeah.
It's a toss up, man. So I don't know. I see a lot of chat saying hook set. Few of them did say fish fighting. So I don't know. Somewhere in
I feel like the
between.
fish fight is underrated.
Oh, it for sure is.
Yeah.
Like most people don't really think of it, especially if you haven't lost a lot of fish at the boat. It's not even on your radar,
That's
right?
exactly right.
Until you lose one. And I
And then
have
all of a sudden
seen,
it's like,
yeah, I've had a few. I've definitely had a few. There was a time we were on a kind of a lake that was like a chain of lakes. It was really weird. And Paul was like on another lake and he heard me scream. And when we later met up, he said, "I thought you broke your leg or something." And like that was a chatterbait, huge bass, and popped out as he leapt out of the water. And I was like, "Oh no,
remember
gosh,
that?
gosh dang."
Remember
You on the smallmouth trip,
I
there
was
was a
gonna
really
say
bad
that
one.
one. Oh God. Ooh. I also have like a vivid memory of remember when we hit the Huron in that really crappy stretch where all the bridges were. We
Yeah.
had a really tough day. We didn't catch a lot of fish. And on the
Mhm.
on the backside, when we like went down below our
Yeah.
hook, our set in, you caught a huge crappie. I
Mhm.
caught a bass, and then I hooked into on a jerk bait a bass, had it coming in, and then it spit the hook and it almost hit me in the face. My yell was like primal, like guttural,
Yeah.
vicious,
It
and
it
I'll never forget it.
really wrecks your day too. It's hard to
Oh.
bounce back. You gotta hit a full reset after that. It's
Yeah, you
snacky
need it. You
time.
need a sandwich. Might not do it.
Yeah. It depends. It
It's got to
depends.
be a big ass sandwich.
Gonna be a real nice deli sandwich. I might be happy. All right, so let's dive in on frogs, you guys. Kind of like the crankbait episode. What we'll do is the 30,000 foot view, right? So let's look at this from the top of view. What are the types of frogs? What's the equipment that we're looking for? And then we'll do our mid-show segment. Then we'll talk about kind of when and where and such of frogs, and we'll all just let's go there in our minds together and just imagine getting a frog up in that slop and just seeing that that topwater take, baby. So we're going to be chit chatting about this. And then, as I suggested with the crankbait episode, all of these episodes are going to get revisited once we like encounter ourselves an individual who we feel can drop some interstellar knowledge on you guys. We'll bring them in and then we'll do the frog fishing episode redux, and we're going to put this stuff to use out on the water as soon as we can. But I can tell you guys right now, you should fully expect and or yell at me if you don't see a frog setup in the boat all year round.
I will not be
It's
doing that,
happening.
and I already know
I will.
why. Because I'm
I'm
still
committed.
committed to the glide bait game, and I can't fit any more single use rods
I'm just
into
going to start
my.
bringing 8. I'm bringing 8.
Even if I had 8,
I don't
I
care.
don't know if it would work. It would be
It will.
so.
It will. Trust me. It's
Okay,
gonna
yeah,
work.
trust Jeff. I have not thought this through.
Um,
Trust me.
I'm
Trust
sorry.
me.
What? You trust me all the time. You're like, what lake are we going to? I
And
don't know.
how does it work out?
Really great for me.
Super good,
Typically.
usually, probably. Oh
All
god.
right, so let's start out with types of frogs.
Sure.
You guys, you know them, you love them. You've seen the standard Kermit, the
Should I
basic
get out?
frog.
Hold on,
I have some next to me.
I have my examples. Hold on.
Okay, we'll wait for Paul's examples. So let's look at the basic hollow body frog, right? Just the basic, just the standard. And shout outs in chat. Here's what I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your favorite frogs as we go through this? And if we don't have them, then we'll consider getting them because we're going to do a massive tackle re-up this year. There's one. Is it the Hendrix or
It is.
is it Hendrix? Yeah.
This is one of my favorite frogs.
It's the absolute standard. Like that is the base mold that
And it's
everything
such a
else
good
is like
casting
crafted
frog.
off of. But yeah, easy to cast. It's hollow body. Show them a hollow body for people that aren't fishing these frogs. Give me the squish squish. There you go. Which one is that?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I have a
recognize
lot
it.
of frogs.
You do have a lot of randos. Chad, if you can find it.
So
Is
just
that
so
the
you guys
Booyah?
know,
No, that's not
you
the
guys want to
Booyah.
you guys want no, you guys want to see a cheat code? Just pull all the trays out of your tackle box and then
People don't
just
believe
dump
it.
your frogs into a Buzbe. This is immaculate. This is
As
immaculate.
long as you don't have that Spro that Debo was talking about the other week, you guys don't put that one in there because it's like a last tech. But every single other one works in there perfectly. And yeah, I mean, you're gonna see Spro Bronze Eyes in there, probably a bunch. I bet he has
Pad Crashers.
Booyah Pad Crasher. That's the Pad Crasher. Whoever said that in chat, that's what we're looking at.
That's the one.
Yeah, whole bunch of different ones in there. And you're gonna see a whole bunch of different like skirt lengths and stuff like that because you can do some cool stuff. That's the tackle.
Some of them will have
the JDM tackle.
Some of them will have a rattle chamber in the butt.
Some might have a rattle chamber in the butt. And in the side skirt and the back skirt. There's some crazy ones. If you guys want to have some fun, go to the frog section on Tackle Warehouse. Oh yeah, and then you get
this. All right. So you got your standard frog thing. No, that's not really a standard frog. You got your this is what I would call a standard Kermit. I would just call like a walking frog.
Yep.
Okay. So you're gonna see an arrow-shaped pointy nose, a heavy-duty tie-in. Now that tie-in leads directly back here to these usually two, come on, Skirty, these two big hooks right here. And you can see that those hooks are going to be facing upwards and they're tight to the body. See how tight those hooks are to the body? That's why you got the squish body. So when that bass bites down and you set the hook, that's what's making the hook set. But that also keeps you incredibly weed-less. So you can just walk this right through all the trash, no problems. And then obviously these are the feet of your frog, and they splay out on the water like so, like so, and that's where you're getting a lot of your action. Yeah, so that's standard frog.
So they come in a bunch of different sizes. I actually found this one the other day. Check this out. You can get micro frogs. Look at this little baby.
I love it.
I have no idea where this one came from. I couldn't tell you if you paid me $1 million.
So there's like a good,
very nice little guy. Oh, look, it's the spider. That's why Debo couldn't do this episode, you guys, because he knew we would talk about the spider.
But here's like a good look at like the variance that you can see within within frogs, right? So I'll pull out like Pad Crasher versus kind of a standard frog.
Yeah, the Pad Crasher comes in a bunch of different sizes too. But
so I like the tiny ones.
You choose your size. They come in a bunch of different weights, and that's going to be very important as soon as we talk about gear, because I know a lot of frustration that some guys have, guys and gals, with the spider is that it's a 1/4 ounce finessey body bait.
They have a lot of them, but yeah, they go down to 1/8.
Yeah, so you're not going to be throwing that on your super heavy stick. It just doesn't work. And the same could be said for this little baby guy, right? Like I'm not going to throw that on the full setup. Oh yeah, that's going in the arsenal this year. So yeah, there's your standard. Then we can just go ahead and like open that mouth up. We got a popping frog. You got one right there. That's a KVD or a Strike King. It was in your hand. Literally,
yeah, I like this one better. This is
cool. Never talk about the other one again. Yeah, the Fish Lab, the rattle toad. So popping frogs, now we can cause a different kind of ruckus. So if we move just outside the pads and we want to do some popping action, those things are fantastic. And I mean, you can get bit on a frog like anywhere in the lake, by the way.
Yep.
So that is the cool thing. If you guys haven't explored beyond, the muck and the pads, you can do a lot with different hollow body presentations all over the place. And in fact, like this spider is one of those examples where I don't actually like to put it like directly in or on top of the slop. Like I like to go into the little gaps that are created around there. So you find a spot, you kind of drop it into that, and you just twitch it. Right? So there's a lot of different things you can do with that. So we got the popping frogs as well. You could get funky. You get real weird. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could. There's the skitter lizard. So something totally different that's meant to have a completely different action. I'm retrieving this and relying on the action of this tail and the legs instead of like twitching or popping it, because it just flips upside down if you do that, by the way.
Now, I don't have one in here. Yeah, I do. Here's a come with kicky feet instead of the skirt. Yeah. So these are made for more like open water. So it's going to make a little bit of a wake. This is a scum frog, if you couldn't tell from the body shape.
You can always tell by the body shape, yeah.
Some of them come with kicky feet. Some of them, there's one, I think the Z-Man Trash Panda has one kicky foot.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are also wake baits.
Yeah.
Right. So
sort of a cup mouth walking, like a jitterbug style mouth.
Yep.
But instead of a metal lip, right, it is rubber. So you can move that. Bam. Yeah.
And they come in atomic colors, apparently.
Well, that's the Lunker Hunt rat. That's what you're going to get.
Leave it to them.
Oh, Lunky. So yeah, I mean, all sorts of different ones. And then you can get into the soft plastics as well. So like on the thumbnail for this video, you got the goat toads from Z-Man.
Yep.
I love the goat toads is one of my absolute all-time favorite top water plastics frogs. Like just non-hollow body. It's got awesome legs, tons of action. It's Elastec, so you can get blown up on it by literally any creature from the deep abyss, and it will survive. I love throwing it weightless because it's Elastec, so it floats. And then I love doing that as a trailer on a buzzbait. Hot tip: if you haven't done that, do it. You'll be happy. Thank me later. So there you go. Kind of the arsenal of frogs. There's a ton of different ones. They're good for a lot of different situations, and they can be used in a multitude of those situations too, like the plastic frogs. You could throw that in the same spot that you're throwing your standard like tapered nose walking frog, and you can throw it open water, and you can do all sorts of other stuff. I like the popping frog along the pad lines and around cover, wood, etc. Like anything sticking out, I'm just causing a ruckus like you would a popper. Like I treat it like a popper, but hollow body, and I'm going for bigger fish with it, and I seem to have a lot better luck with that as well. And then you can upsize, downsize depending on it. So speaking of the Fish Lab frog, it actually comes in what I think their bigger size is like a 3.5 inch.
I think it might be a 4 1/4.
Oh yeah, so they got a big and gigantic hollow body frog that you could be throwing around, right? And it was a lot of fun. It's definitely got its like what is that? Is that all your Fish Lab stuff that you brought from my house? You didn't even unpack it yet?
I got
You
sick
heathen.
kid. What do you want from me?
Well, that's all the more reason. You just like, hold your sick kid while you also unpack and organize tackle. It's really easy. Yeah, there's another plastic frog, which is used for completely different purposes than you would think. It's a flipping frog. You're meant to flip it.
Or Ned rig it.
Yeah. Like you could throw that on a Ned. You could throw the upsize one on Shaky Head. You could flip it, punch it. I mean, it's pretty streamlined. You can punch that.
Did the one we get have arms?
Yes.
It did?
The original like demo ones we got. Yeah. The only difference was they weren't scented and they didn't have salt, and they
like
softened up the
600
plastic.
pounds of salt. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You guys, we unboxed.
I'll show you. Pull one of these out.
Well, I took the clamshell out of all of these because it's annoying and it wastes a ton of space. And I just dumped them into the bag, and it came with all that salt came right along with it.
Look at all that
You
salt.
know, like the plate that you fill up with salt when you make a margarita, like
packed in there.
That's the salt for the rim of the margarita. You should put that on a glass. You'd be really happy.
All of these.
You should do it right now, live.
No, I'll get sick and die.
I mean, for the content? Why not? All right. So let's talk gear with these, right? Because it definitely varies with the different types of frogs that you're using. And
this is one of those things where if you don't have the right gear, you're going to be incredibly unsuccessful.
And
if you're very mad because of your lack of success. If you do have the right setup, you will immediately know it. You'll know instantly.
Because you're catching fish. That's why.
You'll actually be fishing.
Here's what I want to hear from chat right now. Chat, tell me this. Have you had a lot of success or a little success or no success with frogs? I want to hear that, because I can tell you, I'll give you my example. When I first picked up a frog and I was like, this is the dumbest lure I've ever seen in my entire life, and there's no way a fish would ever eat this years ago. I had no faith in it. Zero, absolutely zero faith in it. And I started forcing myself to fish it, but I was fishing it on, at the time, I think it was like a Ducket Silverado. It was like a 7.3 medium heavy rod. I probably had 20-pound braid on there, and go figure, I wasn't catching fish. Why was I not catching fish? Because I was completely underpowered. So all my hook sets were super sloppy. Like I'm not sticking those. You got too big. I mean, depending on the size of the frog, like you're getting that double hook, man. You're trying to penetrate a bass's mouth with two big, usually heavier gauge hooks. You got to bomb that thing in there. So I couldn't figure it out because I was being a dum-dum at the time. So I started looking into it, doing a little bit of research, and I found out like I'm underpowered. Okay, fine. So what did I do? I got a Dobbins Magnum Heavy Fury rod. I was like, underpowered? I'll show you overpowered.
Go get a crane.
So I did that, and with my new winch, I added the Abu Garcia Revo as my Froggin reel at the time.
Jesus.
Yep. I was like, I'm gonna show these fish.
$290 to go catch a fish on a frog.
Dude, I started just flinging fish across the lake. It's just bam, bam.
Just throwing them around like
So there's
like
a
a
happy
conductor, like
there's a happy middle ground. You got to meet in the middle, okay? But like if you're going big frog for big fish, you got to have the right power to match that. That's where you see the guys with the 65-pound braid, maybe more, and that Magnum heavy, and then like a Revo beast, right?
Well,
So I
and there's a
gotta crank them
couple
out.
there's a couple of other reasons why you want a heavier rod. You want the hook set for sure, but also because you're going to find yourself in situations where that fish is going to be dug in
Yep.
heavy cover, and so you're going to wish you had that. Also, if you do actually get hung up, it's really nice to have that extra heavy rod to rip your own frog back to yourself.
Yep.
So there's quite a few reasons, and that's that's actually a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and real quick, chat's kind of split, but leaning towards struggle bus. It
It's
seems
amazing,
like.
and I
I totally get it.
no, it almost all the time when this comes up, it's 50-50. People are either, and it's really polarizing. It's
Mhm.
usually I've caught every fish I've ever caught on a frog, or
Yeah.
I've never, not
Always
even
reaching for a
sniffed.
frog or
Yeah,
never
man.
touching the frog, like avoiding it, which is what
Yeah.
I did for like the longest time. And I'm telling you guys, if you have the right gear, if you're throwing into that slop on a lake in which you know there are fish, like you're going to catch a fish on a frog. I promise
Yeah.
you, it just takes time. The whole walking thing, like you're really just causing a ruckus. And if you're not sure like how to twitch the rod or move the thing, like you can definitely look up some videos. We'll work on it this year as well. It just takes a cadence. It's like a comfort thing. It was
The
the same
walking bait.
way when I first got into jerk baits, when I first got into topwater poppers, hard baits, when I first got into glide baits, there's like this rhythm, and you just got to keep messing and messing and messing with it until it produces, until it works. Like it's going to work. Fish eat frogs like crazy. So if you're one of the people in chat and you're saying, man, no luck on frogs, or I have struggled with this for a long time, it's a commitment thing for sure. Cause I know how easy it is to be like, well, I tried it for 15 casts, didn't work. Let me grab my Ned rig, right? Let me switch to my confidence bait.
Yep.
And, it's worth holding out through the struggle bus, through the struggle to get that first catch because it's so much more rewarding. Just like the glide bait, it took me
But
like 2
also
years
with
to catch a
frogs
glide bait fish.
specifically, it's like
The
frog
feeling
the
is
feeling of
next
catching a
level.
frogfish when that
Yeah.
blow up comes is it's its own corner of fishing. I mean, it's like there's nothing else like it. There just isn't.
Yeah.
Even walking baits, there's just nothing else like it.
So yeah, so Fish and Game English Club, like I totally get this. We did an MB trip in Michigan, mind you, and we were meant to be like promoting the Monster Bass Patriot at the time. Was it the 3.0,
No.
I think. Yes, it was. It had the tide treble, the dress treble. So
Right.
that's a 3.0. So we're like supposed to be fishing this walking bait. And they like put me on the spot. Like they would basically pick an angler that was there and they say, this bait now. And be like, okay. So they give me this thing. They're like, we're going to a random lake in the middle of friggin' nowhere, Michigan, that I've never fished in my entire life. And they're like, hey, you have no idea what you're doing. Figure this out. And I was like, okay. And I learned how to walk a bait in an afternoon. And I caught a ton of fish, like a ton of fish on it. It was insane. It was hyper clear water too. It was still, there's nothing going on. It's just like a sunny, calm day. And I was like, I'm doomed. I'm literally doomed. And what it took was, I don't think anybody even talked to me about it. And I had the general concept of like, okay, you kind of twitch it. You want this action. And when I didn't get it at first, and I was like, okay, just keep, messing it up, changing it up, switch up the cadence, switch up the way that you're reeling in between your twitches of the rod. And within, like an hour, I was finally like walking it. Within 4 hours, I was walking it consistently, like nonstop. I could do it anytime. You could say, cast it out there, go. Right. And then I was catching fish. It was awesome. So this is what I'm saying. Like it literally just takes pick a technique, pick a lure, pick a spot and just go. Like just give yourself the time on the water, which is the magic concoction that makes the world go around. Like put the time on the water and you will nail it. And the catches that you get, the action that you get on this, it's so rewarding. Like the frog, amazing. Walking baits, like topwater stick walking baits, amazing. The blow ups you get on that are so memorable. it just doesn't go away. Like it doesn't, you will remember that forever. It's so epic. So I'm telling you, it's worth it. Put the time in on it. Trust the process. Watch videos if you're lost. There are so many amazing anglers out there that do just fantastic tutorials. Like fantastic. Start at the top. Just go check out like the huge channels and learn from them. Learn from people that are making these frogs. Learn from the pros. Watch some MLF guys. Like it's all over the place. There's tons of people that you guys should be looking into. But yeah, just my 2 cents. Give it the time. If you haven't caught on it yet, you will. You're gonna.
So there was a question that came in from Mike Vogel. He said, "Do you find it hard to get good walking action from a heavy or firm rod? I feel like I lose my ability to keep it in one place for a long time."
Okay.
So I'd say yes or no. Honestly, I don't think a mag heavy is required for.
It's not.
It's not, and I wouldn't recommend it because you're gonna
I wouldn't
pull
either.
you're gonna pull frogs out of a lot of fish's mouths. So I just like a honestly I just like a
Heavy.
heavy rod that's
Mhm.
like a 7-Eleven. I like a longer rod. You can get away with it for sure.
Yep.
Fast, fairly fast. Doesn't have to be
Yeah.
extra fast, but I like it fast.
Well, yeah, you want
And
the quick hook penetration, and then you want the
yeah,
backbone to
yeah.
support it. So, yeah, I
You
like the
can.
heavy. You can get extra heavy if you really want
I
to.
think heavy is perfect.
Yeah,
I think heavy is the way to go.
I rocked a mag heavy for 3 years.
Yeah,
That was like my only Froggin stick.
yeah.
And I did like it, but I did feel like Paul was just saying that you can, one, you get that dink that blows up on it. They are going to regret their life,
And
RIP. And
they're
they
gonna
will
punch
be,
you in the face.
they're going to go Superman across the
Yep.
lake. I mean, it is what it is. So
And you're
you're
gonna
going to,
pull the you're gonna be
or
pulling
that.
the frog out of the fish's
Yep.
mouth.
Yep.
My recommendation. So this I have the Abu Garcia. What is it? PLX. What is it? Veritas, the new Veritas, the white one.
Mm-hmm.
I have the PLX. The regular one's great, and it's $150 or $125.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice rod, heavy. 7-Eleven, perfect. It's
Yeah.
perfect. I love that rod, and it's a great frogging rod. It feels pretty light in hand. The reason I say 7-Eleven, faster hook sets over a long cast.
Mm-hmm.
7-Eleven will let you make that super long cast and cast further than like a 7-footer. So I like an almost 8-foot rod if I can pick.
And I'm generally going 7.5, maybe a little longer. Like that's what I'd enjoyed.
Yep.
So that's what's worked really well for me, especially in the kayak.
Yep.
I'm definitely digging frogging in the kayak because you can pull right up on that spot and just sink
You
it
get away
wherever
with
you
less
want,
in a
right?
kayak. Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Blind Eye brought up a good point. You can walk walking baits without twitching the rod. Yeah, you can. You can also, glide baits without twitching the rod and doing all that stuff. You get different action from different movements. And what I do with walking baits is a combination of reeling. So you got your retrieve plus the twitch, depending on when you want it to move, how far you want it to, move
If you're
in that side to
searching
side
or if you
action.
need it to hold still, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, great point. There's different ways to different strokes for different folks, and also different purposes.
Yeah.
But I dig it.
Should we talk reel?
Yeah, let's definitely talk the reel. So, and then we'll get to line as well. So again, stick, we're kind of like we're leaning towards that fast action, that heavy. Go to extra heavy if you want to deal, if you are dealing with what are like much bigger fish, maybe magnum heavy even. And if you if you're gonna put the work in on that hook set, like you might want that, you can definitely be very happy with a heavy fast action.
Yeah.
And the longer the rod is, the further you can cast it, the more fighting power you have. So think about that as you process which rod to buy. Going into the reel, it kind of depends on the cover. So are we dealing with super heavy cover? Are we fishing open water? Do we have light cover? Because, and also like, how fast am I looking to get that fish to the boat? Generally, frog situation, I'm trying to get it back faster. And I'm also generally winching it out of the trash. So if I'm trying to do that, I need that faster gear ratio. This is where you're going to see like the beast, the Revos, the rocket Revo, right? Whatever from Abu. You're going to see those things, which is like an 8, 9, 10 gear ratio where you're just cranking that baby back to the boat. And they also have a super heavy drag. Like
That's
way
the
heavy
thing.
drag.
Yeah, I think what's the lose mag?
Mm-hmm.
That's the that's like a perfect one. I mean, there's
It's
not
like
really
25 pounds and up drag is what you're
yeah,
kind of looking
yeah.
for.
I
Yeah.
now I do like the 8 speed. To me, anything 8 and up is fine. The
Yeah.
other reason you want a faster retrieve is so when you cast your frog out, you see let's say a fish is about to hit your bait. You don't
Mhm.
know that. So you're dealing with a jump scare. You're watching, The Omen or whatever, and you're getting ready for a bah. And so
The
you're like,
Omen of all movies, though,
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna pause you for a
I don't know.
second.
Yeah,
I don't know
whatever.
there's any jump
What's
scares
a
in The
jump
Omen.
scare? Okay, I don't know. Anyways, some
The first
horror
time you
flick,
saw
right?
Paranormal Activity.
Sure.
Go
There you
back to
go.
that first time.
Yes. And so you're reeling, or maybe you're reeling with this hand. I don't know if you're an insane person. So you're reeling, but you're hopping your frog, and all of a sudden, boom, you see
Yeah.
the splash. In that moment, they're slacking your line. All of a sudden, they're slacking your line.
Yep.
You do we'll talk about this a little bit, but you do your one Mississippi. While you're saying one Mississippi, you're not doing nothing.
Hmm.
Rod tip goes down, you reel in the slack, then you set the hook. That reeling in of the slack, an 8 speed, perfect.
Yeah.
It depends on what kind of frog fishing you like to do. Blind Eye just said, if you are doing however you like to fish, sure. But for me, an 8 is not so much faster than a 7
Mhm.
that I'm gonna for
It's
me anyways, that I'm gonna screw it up.
negligible
An
to
8 is
me.
perfect.
Yeah.
I get 1 or 2 turns,
Mhm.
boom. That's my 6 inches foot that I'm getting out of the way. So
Right.
that's what I like.
Yeah, I like it. I like an 8. I also have used a lot of 7s. 7 3-1 is my Komodo SS, which is
Yep.
typically because it's such a heavy duty reel. Like that's my
Yep.
go-to jigging and frogging. So I'll actually have a 7-3 on mine.
Yep.
But the other thing I like about that our boy brought up somewhere over here. Where'd you go? Brown Bait Co. I lost your comment, but whatever. Brown
The
Bait
Go
Co says,
Maxis.
yeah, the Go Maxis comment. Like basically it's talking about the long handles, right? Longer handle, so that I get that cranking power. And for me, it's like I got these big mitts, right? So if I have those tiny little knobs on my handle, I'm just gonna slip right off. Like the Komodo has
True.
the oversized knobs, which I love. So the Go Maxis that he's talking about as well. I was actually looking at those today, dude. It's funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that bigger handle as well as the knobs on there. Make sure that I don't slip, right? Because if you're like, oh, right, and your hand falls off the handle, I've lost a fish or two that way, and I haven't been happy before. So I like that. It gives you more control. And yeah, I'll probably be rocking like a 7-3. Is really mine right now. I don't know. Would I because the 8s that I have are like SLXs, which are lower drag. The Hakai, which has a pretty decent drag. I think it's 15 or 20. I don't remember. But it's pretty decent for that little guy. And yeah, I'm probably gonna stick with the Komodo. I think it's my jam. So like a heavy duty reel, good drag setup, longer handle, longer knobs, something larger knobs rather, whatever, so that
Yep.
you got good control over it. And choose your speed, man. Like go with the one that's right for you. This is a great thing about fishing, right? Is that you're gonna hear a lot of people say, like, this is the only way. This is the only thing
Yes.
that you can ever do. You have to do it
Yes.
this way. And while it might work for them, it doesn't work for you, and that's okay. That's what makes this such a beautiful sport slash hobby slash thing that takes all of our money and all of our time from our lives. I love it. So, yeah, like find your own rhythm, your own way of doing that. And the best way to do it, try some stuff out, man.
Yeah, you got to try everything.
If you know like some buddies that have like get different stuff from your friends, so then you can try their stuff, they can try your stuff. And like that's the cheapest way to, get into new gear. That's what Paul and I always did.
Oh yeah,
Always.
100%.
I would steal all his gear, never give it back.
Never give it back. No, I'll have to go to his house and take it.
that's what you got to do. Like just find a friend, get their address, go there, take their stuff, be happy. The end.
Yep.
You know,
100%.
that's how it works. All right. So yeah, moving on from the reel, I think we did like pretty good coverage on that.
Yep.
And again, going back
We
to
said
chat on
bait
this one,
casting only, right? I've seen
we,
people use spinning setups before. I
I
don't
mean, our
recommend
boy
it.
Extreme Outdoorsman did it last year. Wasn't
I
that
don't
like a couple of his
I'm not
videos?
saying it won't work. I just don't recommend it.
Listen, anything can work if you got enough time
I
and put
know.
enough effort
It'll
into
work. It
it.
can work. It's not that it can't. It's just I don't recommend it.
Yeah. Chat, let me know what reels you guys are using. I'm seeing a lot of like 7s in here, which is rad. Like seeing different pound drags that you're going for, blah, blah, blah. Like, what's your frog reel of choice? Hit me that in chat. I want to know, especially if it's something I haven't used. I'm always open to learning about new setups, and maybe give us your combo. Like, what's your rod and reel? Interesting. And then let's get into line. Braid, baby, preferably.
No, I think it's I don't really know that there's a case to be made for anything else.
400-pound braid.
No.
No?
I don't even
a rope, 50, a literal rope, like those climbing ropes in CrossFit
50
gyms.
Is what I usually go to. I'm fine with 30.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, no. 30 to 50. So we'll get into let's just get into the finesse setups, right? So let's say you're throwing this frog. Give me the spider. Show me the spider. Okay. People love that spider.
Yep.
So you're throwing the spider, you're throwing the finesse frog, then you're most likely not doing 50-pound braid. So what I like to have is what I call my finesse frog setup. Yeah, there we go. So 1/4 ounce, maybe you got the 1/8 ounce. This one right here is like an 1/8 ounce.
Yep.
Right. So if I'm going to throw these finesse setups or finesse lures, look at that guy. Oh no.
Sorry.
So you're throwing the finesse frog, then you got to have a finesse frog setup. It's not super specialized. Generally, I have a dual purpose rod that ends up just casting that spider for me. So in this case, it's a Psycho Stick, medium heavy. It's 7.3, and then the reel on that is the Hakai. And my gal, it is real easy to cast that thing, have major control over it, and the hook sets, they free. So you can do whatever with that. And of course, that setup is also like my go-to for lots of other things. I use that for bladed jigs. I use it for my spinner baits. Like, it's the dual purpose, or well, more than dual, it's the multi-purpose combo that I love having in my boat. So what I would recommend is, if you're throwing the finesse setup, don't throw it on like your standard froggy setup, because you're going to be sad.
The other thing too is Jeff said he's using a medium heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You got to watch that. Like, the only reason I think that works so well for what Jeff's talking about is because the Psycho Stick, if you didn't know, is a whippy rod.
Oh, very.
They're all more moderate action than what you would think, especially for how they look. They do not act anything like they look. It's so weird. So I think the best finesse rod that I ever had, it was a medium heavy. It was the old school Veritas, the Vengeance, Abu Garcia Vengeance.
Oh, that was your old finesse froggy?
6'6", maybe 7 foot, and it was real whippy. It was the perfect treble bait rod, but it also was a really great finesse frog rod. I loved it. I caught a buttload of fish on lighter frog setups. The other thing too is, if you're downsizing those frogs, you're not going to want to cast those super far. So this is where I would actually say you'd want to go with like a 6.6 or a 7.1, not that longer rod, because you don't need to cast far. You're more worried about being accurate and finding that little pocket.
Unless you're really tall from the surface in which you're casting, which is, I like the 7.3 because it's also like a flipping setup for me. I can flip that from the Hobie.
Yeah.
So if you're going to stand on top kayak, like, you can definitely get away with that. And what he's getting at there too is, like, it's a more accurate like placement of that frog that you're, because I mean, this is not going to like disrupt all that slop that much. Like, it's not. No. I dropped mine too. It's not going to do anything because we all make mistakes. I'm sorry. So
I never made a mistake before.
So, we're getting more accurate casts. I did air quotes because I've never claimed myself to be an accurate caster, but as the best of my abilities, I'm going to place that, in the pockets. Right. And that is where I've had the best luck, especially with the spider. If you guys got like the roach and the lunker hunt box, this is the same exact lure. It's just a little bit bulkier, but it's still lightweight. Like, I would use the same setup we're talking about here. So again, it's another one where, like, you have your choice, I have my choice. Yeah. We've both had luck on them. So you go with, like, what works for you. Consider trying a few things out. And like, if you're taller, you can go with that longer rod setup. And maybe if you're, what does Chaz always call you?
I'm like 4'1". Yeah.
4'1" gremlin. Then you go with a 3.2 rod, a Doc Demon from Ugly Stick. You're gonna be real happy. You're the Doc Demon.
Not mad about it.
I like that a lot.
I do too.
Follow the dock demon. I have seen him on a submerged dock. What did you went on your neighbor's staircase
Oh,
at the
yeah.
cabin to get a lure? I think it was my lure that was like snagged up on the railing, and you just went submerged yourself to
Hell
free
yes, I
said
did.
lure.
Got it back.
It's a rescue mission.
Yeah,
It's
it was
always
absolutely a rescue mission. I crawled over that thing on the break wall.
Your neighbor was
Pulled
just chatting you up the whole time you were doing this too. It's
hiked up my
hilarious.
yeah. It's classic.
But you hiked up your shirt and your pants,
Darn right
but then
I
you
did.
still were fully
Went
soaked
right
by the
underwater.
end.
Yep.
You guys
Didn't
ever
even
just
do
be
any
like,
of
oh
that.
no, oh no.
We have a video of that somewhere. That
I
never
think so.
surfaced. I know we do. I
I
don't have
posted a
it. You have
picture
it.
of it one time.
Oh,
I
okay.
posted a screen cap, maybe. I can find that.
You gotta
I can
dig
find
that
that
up.
video. I'll share it with
All
people.
right. Let's hit the mid show. So do you want to do so Jeff, do we have a comment or should we do the
I don't know what you were talking about there. Nobody's ever
any
been mean to me a single time on the internet. What are you talking about?
That's weird. Surprising.
I blacked it all out.
Oh, whoa. What?
I go to my happy place, okay? Like nobody's ever been mean to me. Don't be mean to me.
Did we get any recently? I feel like we got some that we were talking about.
No.
Okay.
We addressed the pricing.
No, we handled that. Yeah, we handled that. The
there was all right. So there was one the other day I could share with you guys, which was this thing happens with Paul and I all the time, and I have a reasoning for it. But some guy was basically like, "This video would be great." I think it was on the ultralight. It's the featured video. If you go to our channel right now, it would be like the first video that pops up. But it's the like ultralight starter kit, right? And he just goes, "This video would be great if you two would stop talking over each other." And like, I get it. It's definitely happening. Paul and I get excited. Okay. And he says, like, it's rude, it's annoying, it makes it unwatchable. And I was like, all fair points. So I basically, like, my reply was just, hey, you know, I get it. And at the same time, we're not a scripted show. We're never going to be a scripted show because that's not fun. And I don't want to do it. And I will not do it. I'm not going to write this all, or you say this part and then I'll say this part. No, it's going to be organic. Therefore, we're probably going to talk over each other because when Paul and I get together, we get really excited, especially like this Akuma video. I think we got pretty excited.
And
so
you
that's
just
going to come back again.
and you forget. I feel like that not you. People watching videos are probably just not realizing that we're just in a basement screwing around.
Literally, my kids are upstairs. You can hear them sometimes. You can hear my dog barking. My wife's up there, like, you know, or we're at your place in which we're on the main floor and all your kids are running around on that floor outside of a see-through, like he's got a glass
door right here.
You can see them. They'll run up and just put their face on the glass sometimes. Like, this
or their boogers.
This is real life, my friends.
Yeah, so we're not, it's not, and honestly, it is just fun. Like the whole thing of this, we're just trying to enjoy it, and I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with annoying edits, us basically just shouting at you, and we do our best. We do our best.
And if you want some hilarious unscripted B-roll, then you're gonna have to be a member, because we drop that from time to time, and there's a lot.
Oh my god,
there's some comedy.
There is some comedy. If we were smart enough not to have to cut things out of that, to be like required to cut things out of that, we could probably the B-roll would be.
There could be a B-roll. There could be a B-roll channel, is what we're saying.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Endless amounts, you guys.
Oh yeah.
All right, so
everyone's asking what the finesse frog was. What brand?
This one, I mentioned at the beginning. I have literally no idea. So let me answer your question with a question. Chat, have you guys ever bought just giant lots of fishing tackle on Facebook Marketplace?
Oh,
because it's pretty rad. If you guys are bored, you can set alerts on it, by the way. I highly recommend this for anybody looking to stock up on tackle. Super cheap. In fact, I sold like, what did I sell, Paul? Like 8 to 12 rods and like a whole bunch of reels for like $350. Like an insane amount of stuff to a local guy. But like, if you guys are on there, go do that. Do yourself a favor, bookmark like fishing tackle, and you are going to get alerts to your local area or however many miles you're willing to drive. This is how I ended up with this. It was one of my first like hauls. I got like a spider wire sling pack. I got like 15 tackle boxes. I got a bunch of just rods and reels that all of which are gone now, but like I used at the time. And you can stock up on stuff. The problem with that is a lot of those brands, you'll have no idea what it is. I have no idea. So I couldn't tell you. It looks like a pretty standard frog mold. It's similar to that Hendrix, which, like I said, is like the go-to basic frog mold. There's a million brands making something that looks exactly like this. But if you just go look up like ultralight or finesse frogs, you can find a ton of them. There's a ton out there. Go follow what's his name? BurlyFishing.
Oh yeah.
RAWR.
Yep.
Like he literally like only fishes ultralight finesse stuff. That's it. All like more than Ethan does, which is hard to do. He does like a lot of DIY stuff too, which I always think is cool. So like check out his channel, follow that guy. And he has a ton of these little tiny frogs.
So Brown Baco was asking about the Tackle Q linker or clinker.
Okay.
It's really clinker is what it is.
Clinker?
So it's and maybe I mentioned it so you can pull it up to take a look at it. Q linker, like clinker. That's how it's spelled.
Linker.
Yeah, by Tackle.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what this is. I almost sent this to Debo.
Yeah,
like I almost sent it.
That would have made sense.
Can I share screen? Let me.
Yeah, you can.
What does this do? Screen layout. Was that? No, that doesn't do anything.
No, I'm just smaller.
What about that? No. Hang on, you guys. I don't use StreamYard.
Don't hang on.
Present. Share screen.
The big add screen button.
Yeah. Screen sharing.
Safe bet.
Okay. Blah blah blah. Which one am I sharing? What's it gonna share?
Tackle USA Q linker. I don't know.
Bam.
There it is.
Do it?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Show them the color and bone.
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one really shows out, or the pink one even.
Yeah, you got like this kind of a willow blade that's like got a little bend to it, and then it has another Colorado blade coming down from it. That's freaking cool. And like Teckle makes a ton of these things. Am I still sharing? I should be.
Yep,
good.
I got you.
I also like that color.
I don't like that.
Well, too bad.
Is that weird?
I'm looking at it. Let's look at frogs real quick, you guys. Let's devolve. Ready? Hollow body frogs.
Oh man, we're never gonna get the show done.
Nope, we're never. Like, look at this one.
I know.
Like snakehead.
That one makes sense to me though. It's a reverse. It's a
single
reverse
hook.
Yeah, but it's a reverse. It's a reverse wake bait.
Look at that.
That makes so much sense to me.
Of course, it's called the Angola python.
It's called the python.
It's called the python, bro. See, Castaic makes the exact same frog as that Hendrix. There you go.
Hard body frogs.
Oh, this one comes in a tiny version. Check this out. 40 millimeter version right here, you guys. If you're looking for the ultralight tiny finesse frog, it's this one.
So
you get it super tiny.
What?
Yeah, there's I mean, needless to say, there's a ton of crazy frogs. You can get like these little rats
rebel buzzin' frog.
I mean, I'm not gonna find it now that I'm on
rebel buzzin'.
I'm going down to the R's. Hang on. Wait, I passed it.
It's in a hard body. It won't be here.
Oh, well, you should have said that, guy. Anyways, there's a lot of different ones. Hang on, Saga Frogs. I'm doing this for just because there's hard. How is the Lunker Hunt Poppin' Frog a hard body?
No, it makes no sense.
Incorrect. This is what you're talking about?
Third one. No. Read.
No.
Third one.
Oh, this one?
Buzzin' frog. Look at that.
Whoa.
Yes. Dude, what? That is a bait.
I
love Headin more than any other brand. I'm willing to say it.
Wow. All right, so that's pretty nuts. I'm done sharing now. We're back.
I'm looking at that frog. That thing's bonkers.
Dude, that's freaking cool. Yeah,
it's like
and
a buzz bait. It's a buzz bait.
I mean, Brown Baco brings up JDM. When you go on TW, they got their own JDM section. They mix a lot of the JDMs into the regular section too, but Jackal is making some pretty rad.
Jackal is right a step below Headin, but they're up there. Like
they're up. They make some really cool stuff.
Same vibe of like, yeah, the rest of the world is zigging. We will zag. Like I think you think you're cool. You're not. I'm cool, and I make cool stuff, and I just love that. They're like, I don't care what anyone else is doing. I'm making my baits that I think are neat, and they're totally different. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, so just have, like I said this in the beginning of the show, go on Tackle Warehouse, go to the frog section. Guess what? You're going to have some fun because there are some crazy frogs in there. very enjoyable watch. All right, we should probably wrap this part with the when and where, and then let's go cue the D and some giveaways.
Let's do it. Yes, very quickly.
I will point out we just hit 106 viewers, y'all. So a mere less than 20 away from 125, and you can have some baits. And this is a non-Chaz episode, so it's not rigged as everybody thinks it is. I'll be trying.
I will even.
What? Scott Vermonter is gonna win this one again, like just out of nowhere.
Why not?
Why not?
I think we should send whoever wins if we get to do it.
If you guys haven't seen these kick and craws, I wasn't excited at first. Paul, were we excited about these at first?
Nope. But now, hold on. How am I gonna get the lighting here? There it is.
Really bad. Do you do photography for a living? Like,
look, it's very not for a living. It's very difficult with this because the light's right next to the camera.
It is. So these kick and craws are sick. I give away. Did I give those away? I gave away a kick and crawl last week and a Hydroglide.
They make such a great trailer. I did a video for Monster Bass that should show up in a week or so, where I put it on a bladed jig, a Thunder Cricket. It looks incredible.
Yeah. Still downstairs on the workbench. So I don't know. You guys call 20, well, now 23 friends, then maybe somebody can win that. And it's not Chaz. Chaz, you can't win. You can't say stuff like that. Like this is why people think the show is rigged, because of what you do, F7 Sandman. Or also we have a move for this. Don't worry, Canada. We're gonna just ask you what Canadian tackle store you want a gift card to, and we're sending you that because I'm not paying the border service to like ship you something.
It is brutal unless it's a reel.
I'm just giving you money. If it's a reel, I'll make Paul buy you a reel.
And we're back.
There you go.
All right. So now I'm not even gonna go with where. I feel like we covered where pretty well. There's no wrong place.
Slop pads everywhere.
That's
open
for
water.
Standard frog, but you could throw a
frog.
What? See, here's where the when I feel like actually goes right to the next one, which is actually what I want to talk about. Like, I want to talk about, like, okay, we've covered a lot about frog fishing. Yeah. I feel like I'm a good frog fisherman, but I know I'm not a great frog fisherman. I know it. I know I'm not great. So what is it that you feel like? Nice. So what is it that you feel like you still need to get sharp on to consider yourself like a very good frog fisherman?
Just confidence, like purely, like I
That's
know
it?
how to practice and confidence, more time on the water. Like
so is it technique that you think like technique wise is the only thing
I mean, everybody could tighten up their technique. Let's be real. If anybody says like my technique's great, like they're lying.
Here, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
This is why I know I'm not a great frog fisherman. When is a better time, the best time to grab a frog? Not where, when?
I'm in the morning when it's warmer. Like on a warm day in the morning.
Okay, but what about
in the evening
when the sun is at its absolute peak? Is that a bad time?
Because I've caught a ton of fish midday.
Is it early in the season when there's not a lot of slop? Is it only the slop? Is it
when's
the best time to grab?
This is what I'm saying. Hang on. This is what I'm saying. It's confidence. It's literally, you could catch it any time of day. You could catch on a frog, and you're just not confident enough to pull the frog out and go chase him down in any particular spot. It doesn't matter where, because you just don't have that confidence compared to your confidence in all the other baits in your arsenal.
But let me ask you this. So as a finesse fisherman, you could make the same argument, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure. People tell me about Ned rig all the time. They're like, I never catch anything on the Ned rig.
100%.
I was like, bro.
But there are
you just
times,
gotta get confident.
But there are times when you're like, I would grab this over this, right? Where the Ned rig is not going to be the best. Or whether you would grab, you're like, a Ned would work or a drop shot would work, but like I'm grabbing topwater, right? Because you know that's a better situation. I don't have that same vibe for a frog bait where I'm like, look, this is a buzz bait situation, not a frog situation.
Sure.
I don't know that. I just don't. And I'm not saying that there's a bad time. I'm just saying I've become aware that, and again, watching people who are really good at frog fishing. Okay, that's weird. I'm aware of the fact that
oh no.
Do you?
You do what? You do what now?
I'm aware of the fact
that frogs he meant.
I'm aware of there's a time when flipping may be better because you know the fish are going to be at the edge of that cover versus way back, way tucked up back by the shore. Flop is. or when to grab a popping frog instead of a walking frog, not just because of, oh, there's a bunch of stuff here, right? When do you go right up to the pylons, or when do you stay away? I really don't know. It's a guess.
Yeah. I feel like there's there's always an element of science and an element of luck, right? Like then like the confidence brings it all together. Like if you're confident and you have, the science on your side of like, all right, I know for sure if I threw a frog there, that looks like, we say this all the time when we're on the water, that looks like a froggy spot.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. So throw a frog there. Like, then you just have to have the confidence to get the frog set up and make that cast and just do it. Right. And then using the science of like, well, it's, I don't know, it's nighttime, it's morning time, it's a hot day, whatever. We'll learn more about that later. But like you have the science to back you up. It's not that important. Let's be real. And then you have the luck on your side that there is a fish there and you catch it. Like this is the way that catching works for us right now, which is why this entire podcast started.
Yeah.
So this is what
I would like to know. What I would like to know. I would like to know. Do I cast to the middle, to the edge, or way in the back? I'd like to know. Like have a rule in mind that says, you know what, sun's super high, they're going to be in the shadiest possible spot, or you know what, it's early morning, I can't miss. Doesn't matter where they're going to be here, right? I don't know that. I'm guessing when I go.
Yeah,
that's what I would like to learn. I would like that's how I feel like it'd be.
You want to stop?
I would be good. Yeah, I don't want to be guessing. I want to be like, I may not be right every time, but I have a general rule of thumb based on my experience.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna learn that this year. Anyways, next time we get like Debo or somebody else talk frogs with us, teach like literally a teaching session, right? Like
great.
So this is the cadence this year for the podcast, you guys. We're gonna shift gears to the majority of the time picking a technique, doing some research on it, and intermixing, just the experience and the intel that we currently have. So we're sharing that experience. Then the goal would be get somebody who's really good at it, that's also really good at teaching it. I think Debo's amazing at teaching everything, but like somebody comes on and they teach us some stuff, right? And then we go apply it, and there'll be a follow-up video where we actually apply it. Did it work? Did we learn and improve? Or did we just fail? Like,
are we embarrassed?
Well, we're always embarrassed. Let's be real.
Like, embarrassed.
What are you talking about? All right, so let's do some giveaways. Sorry, let's do some giveaways. Listen, when it's in, gosh dang it, it's in your brain. It's hard to change. So this is the time, you guys, where if you're gonna make this push for 125, you better heckin' do it. What we're gonna do, we're on StreamYard right now, so we're gonna schmactivate the hashtag giveaway. Schmiveaway. Frick. What's the hashtag we should? Oh, let's use hashtag FROGGY.
Make it Schmiveaway. Maybe you won't forget it.
No, that's too hard to spell for everyone. So hashtag
for everyone. There's only one.
Hashtag Froggy is on the board. So hashtag FROGGY.
Everyone
Froggy.
else will have a hard time with this.
Yeah, so you guys have to you have to use the hashtag in the chat, you guys. This is for the $25 Monster Bass gift card, good on anything on the website except for the subscription. Stop laughing, you messed me up. Good for everything but the subscription and the shipping. So you can get whatever you want, but you have to write hashtag Froggy, otherwise your entry doesn't count. So don't come crying to me over spilled schmivaways because you didn't write the hashtag down.
Dude. Oh my god. No one will know how to spell it. Just no, I'll be fine. It's everybody else.
I know. I've spelled it a million times. I type it. I just don't say it.
Oh gosh, this is
harder than you think.
So we're gonna go through two questions.
Okay, it's time for slow rolling thunder. So get your hashtags in so you can potentially win. And then if you do win, you're gonna follow the non-existent instructions on the screen because I don't have Chaz. So you're just going to message me.
Yep, we'll talk about it when somebody wins. All right, so what is your third tier gas station food? So like not your go-to, not your backups. What's like you're at an Easy Mart in northern Michigan, which has like the worst selection. None of your go-tos are going to be there. What are you looking for? It's dark. You need something to eat. It's 7:30 p.m. You still got 6 hours to drive.
That's the worst.
I know. This is a high pressure situation. So you're going in thinking like they're not going to have my meat sticks. They're not going to have seeds.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't want
I'll tell you
any of
mine.
that.
What you know what mine is?
Yeah.
This is where I go to just like vintage garbage dump heap eater Paul.
Okay.
Chili cheese Fritos.
Oh,
Mountain Dew Code Red. Yeah.
This is where I go to garbage eater Paul. I get garbage.
One of the best.
All right.
TikToks. I'm the trash man.
I'm the trash man. All right.
Come out and I throw trash all over the ring. And then
Good
start eating
Lord.
garbage.
Oh man. All right. So here would be mine.
And the sandwiches. I go to the pre-made sandwiches.
Oh yeah,
I get
the little
the
triangle guys.
whatever spicy they have. It's like
Yep.
like 6-week-old capicola. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is kind of tough, man. All right, so I have it. Ready? It is, and this is, you would think this could be a higher tier, but it's not. Muddy Buddies. Which is it's puppy chow.
Good answer.
Dude, it's Muddy Buddies, cookies and cream. And then it is Andy Cap's hot fries, which is,
oh my god, those are
right
great. I will
never buy them normally.
You will be preserved for months.
I know,
because of all the salt.
I've been pickled. So like,
dude, I love it. Oh,
Andy Cap, Muddy Buddies, and then I guess bevy. It's gonna be a Faygo of a random Faygo.
Not a rock and rye.
No, well maybe. Like I said, random. Like I'll do
cream
this.
soda. Cream soda.
Probably cream soda is my favorite. That's top tier. But if I'm third tier, that means the cream soda rack is empty.
If you have to drink Moon Mist, just quit. Water.
Moon Mist. Yeah, it's gonna end up being like that, or like the blue one, whatever the blue flavor.
God.
I don't even know what it is.
That's like
what
Mario.
is it?
That's Mario piss. All right,
Mario.
I love it.
Yoshi.
Great.
Yoshi piss.
This is so great. I love it. Burritos are fourth tier, by the way, everybody. You won't survive.
No, that's like eating the 7-Eleven tornado.
You're gonna be in trouble.
Like, I see Fig Newtons.
That's sixth tier. That's even below. Funyuns are god tier. That's
egg salad. That
ain't right.
The bottom.
No one's doing that. Only the owner does that.
No one does that. They literally
the owner does that. They're like, nah, this is from my lunch.
They keep rotating the egg salad.
Same one from like 3 weeks ago. All right, second question.
Good answers.
I love this one. This one's great. We're gonna trap ourselves. Is Yeti branded product a ripoff?
No. Hang on.
Certainly not.
Definitely not a ripoff at all.
What could you be speaking about?
Deliciously cold beverage.
Look, here's why I asked the question. It is. It 100% is. So the cup, that cup, I love but I've gotten many of them. I bought a few myself, but I'll tell you right now, the Ozark Trail copycat is better, and it's got a cheaper lid.
I was gonna say on the same tier, but you're saying
no, it's better. It's better. Okay. It's better.
Should I try and let my dog in?
Come on, buddy.
Come here. Bet he won't.
What about? So someone already brought it up. This is my question. Arctic versus Yeti. This is where I feel like you're actually buying.
I always thought Arctic was like a not real brand. Like when they were really hard pushing and doing these clearance deals. I was like, this is a scam. Like fishing care package. Like this is not real.
So when I feel like you're actually buying a different product. Totally. The weight is not comparable. It's just not. So and obviously the cost. I don't think it's the same product. I think they actually serve different purposes. Because to me, the Yeti products, because they're so heavy, cooler specifically, they're so heavy duty. They're not supposed to be like carried around and taken to tailgates and stuff. Like that's not really what they're for.
Sure.
The Arctic, I feel like is. I feel like they do that very well. So I feel like they serve different purposes.
Yeah. That's interesting. Like there's so many. Well, I like the Ozark ones. I do have the Ozark like can coasters, whatever. Those are fantastic. Or you can get use
those, yeah.
Yeah, you can get a bunch of like the Tervis dealios, usually on clearance too. So
You're Spanish. I don't hear what you said. It's like you broke
Tervis?
up. I don't even know.
Tervis? You don't know what Tervis is? That's like the see-through insulated version of a Yeti.
Okay.
All right. Wow. Chat, can you educate this guy right here?
I don't even know how to spell that.
You drink tea, right? Like Tervis is for tea drinkers. Like is the way I picture it. That's what I think of. But anyways.
What the?
You know what I'm
I
talking
know what you're
about.
talking. Now I do. These
Yeah,
are
you
like
can
the
usually
cups that
get
get
those
left
on
at the
clearance.
beach. This is like what people leave at the beach. Yeah.
It's a grown-up bevy beach container.
This is like people who
right?
drink chilled wine on the beach and then they forget that they had a cup and they go to bed.
Or
That's
at their
exactly.
or at their kids' soccer practice.
Yeah,
That
one
is
of the
the
two.
soccer mom move.
Milk. Got milk in there.
All right. So let's on that note draw this
I'm gonna
giveaway.
say yes.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think it's if you say Yeti's not a ripoff, like check yourself.
You're getting ripped.
All right, so hashtag Froggy was the hashtag. We had 64 entries. I'm gonna draw a winner right schmow, and if it's Chaz, I'm gonna jump out of this place.
You remember Schmau, but not
Schmau.
Giveaway.
Did I say giveaway again?
Yeah, you just did.
Oh, there we go. Hey, it is the winner is not Scott Vermonter.
Oh,
it is
perfect.
also not Chaz, so we're good. The winner is Caro Ferg.
Oh, hell yes.
Caro Ferg. You won the
better.
Monster Bass giveaway.
Good.
So congratulations on your $25 gift card. And to the rest of y'all, we made it really close to 125. You guys were pushing those limits. Next time we're going to get there.
We need to.
And
you
know what that means? You know what that means is we're going to pay it forward to the next giveaway. So we're going to start we'll have a giveaway prepped and we're just going to keep stacking it up. This is like the lottery, right? The jackpot's going to go up.
No way.
Yeah, dude. They can't hit 125. Then they got to wait to the next time, get their next shot. But
I don't think you guys realize our giveaways, I feel like, are way bigger than everybody else's.
Oh, yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
You guys want to see an
gigantic?
Example? This is like a single schmiveaway. You said the bad word too, by the way. This is a single schmiveaway box. Single to one person. Now we're gonna have to stack them up. I don't know.
What?
Maybe we should up the ante more often.
That's a lot.
You guys saved me some shipping this week, but it also means that we're gonna stack some schmiveaway prizes for the next time.
I like it.
Yeah, let's close out with a couple more slow rolling thunders. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. This has been absolutely awesome. Yeah, let's do what's this next one? What are you doing? Yeah, there you go.
Allowed to keep track.
Yeah, you got to change that number though. It's 125 plus. As soon as you guys hit 125 for us.
I see.
Yeah, so it's for the next time. We're gonna keep stacking them up.
All right.
Pay it forward. It's like the roll up jackpot. Look, they're making a push. Last minute push. Can they do it?
Well, I'll give you guys a chance. No, I'll give you a chance. So we'll do the next question. What are you most likely to forget when you're rushing off to a fishing trip?
Okay, so I've thought about this one before because I've done this so many times.
Yeah.
There are 3 things specifically. Actually, yeah, I'll go with 3. Number 1, GoPro. Literally the GoPro. It is almost always the GoPro, or as a part of the GoPro answer, it's the little
card.
No, not the card.
Oh,
but the thing
mount.
that holds it.
Mount.
The mount. Yeah. I might have I have everything, but I forgot the mount. I did that on a trip with Ted on the Flat River, and I was like, "What do you got?" And he had zip ties, so I zip tied it.
I remember that. Yeah,
the chest. So it's the camera. When I was when my kayak had a paddle, it was the paddle of all things, and then it was the life jacket, my PFD. Yeah.
Oh no.
And what happens? Well, now I am dropping it on my lake right there, so I'm like, dang it! Yeah. I load the boat back up, and then I come back over here, and then grab it, and then go back. Right? Sometimes it ain't that good. So I have become very, very anal retentive about it. I will make a list, and I'm like, do you have all these things? Yeah. As I'm leaving my driveway,
a big trip, sure. If it's a regular trip,
well, if I'm going to your place, it's 45 minutes away. So I'm like,
I keep all my camera gear in one box.
Well, I do
because
now,
of this exact thing.
Yep.
So then I just bring the whole box, and I can't forget that.
Yep. Yeah. So I will stop in the driveway on the way out and do a spot check. I turn around, and I'm like, battery for the Panoptics is also another one that I might forget. That was my potential 4th. But I'm like, battery, paddles, all these things. Okay. All right, go.
Mine for me, keys, car keys. So I start
You
my truck.
do that.
I
You
do it all
do
the time.
that so
I start my
often.
truck.
I've never
Start
had
my
that
truck in the
issue.
winter, and then I hang my keys,
Yeah.
and then I get everything ready. I put everything in the car, and I sit down and I go, fart, and
Here's
I
the
have to
funny
go
thing.
back and go get them.
So I have a keyless start too now, and I didn't before. So
Yeah.
obviously I could never forget my keys, but
Yeah,
I have a keyless start now too. I've never forgotten my keys.
I have
I know you
bunch
have.
of
You
times.
do it like 100 times a day. Like,
25% of the time,
and
I'll
it's
forget my
always
keys.
we're always on like a bigger trip. You've done it at the cabin. You're like, I can't
I'm like,
do it. If I don't find this, we can't go fishing. And I'm like, what do you mean? The water's right there. They're like, I'm gonna go. And you're like, no,
No.
I have to find these. I'm
So
like, what
keys.
the hell?
The other one, for sure, sunglasses. It's
Mm.
not as much anymore because of how I store them.
Yep.
But yeah,
Or you have
sunglasses.
multiple pairs and multiple places.
Yeah, and I'm
to go.
juggling. Oh,
Yeah.
heart and mad for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, Chaz. I have definitely forgotten fishing rods. Not all of them, just some of them. I'm like,
Very
man,
rare. Like
I
so,
thought I
battery.
grabbed this one. Yeah.
Battery. I'm a like the night before prepare. So, all the camera gear, it's one box. So that gets laid out ahead of time. If I have to
Yep.
charge batteries, that gets laid out ahead of time. I have to bring like extra clothes all the time. So that's all laid out ahead of time. The kayak and the rods that I'm going to take, that's all packed the night before. Even in a rush though,
Mhm.
like 90% of the time, all the rods that I would ever need are actually in the boat already. They live there. So it's the only
Yeah.
time I would forget one would be like a swim bait rod if I wasn't, or a glide bait rod if I wasn't planning on doing that and I had it out for some reason.
Well,
Otherwise,
it's easier when you have rod tubes in your boat.
that's what I'm saying. So it's all in there.
Yeah. What else? Anything else?
That's it.
That's mainly it. All right. So, this guy is just hanging out in NOLA, freaking rocking it, man.
Woof.
But this has been called out multiple times. Debo does not own frogs. I don't care what anybody says. He
has a lot of frogs.
He's a very froggy guy. Does he own the category of frogs? No. What do you mean? Like, I don't need Debo's permission to do my show, you guys. I will have him back on. He was just on like 2 weeks ago because
it
Paul
does seem like
dead.
a missed opportunity.
No, it's not. We are revisiting these in the future.
So is Debo going to be our frog expert?
I mean, it seems like Chad has chosen him to be. So I don't think that we have a choice at this point. However, they can't shut down our show right now just because we didn't have Debo on for this episode. Wow. The revolts. All right. Anyways, what's the last one?
All right. Best thing on the Starbucks menu. Or like just general coffee shop. Like, what do you get at a coffee shop? Like, what's your fancy drink of choice?
Americano. Like, that's
great,
it. Which is
option.
espresso and
super
water.
Good. Yeah.
That's it.
Americanos are delicious.
I do not like fancy coffee drinks at all.
I
couldn't tell you a single thing on the Starbucks menu right now.
What about food?
They have
food is
actually they have egg bites. I like
sandwiches
those.
are really good. They're
They're
pre-made. They're like their kids' breakfast, like like a Lunchables breakfast are amazing.
Yeah. the $8 Lunchable.
Yes, I don't have to pay for them. I get them when I'm at work. Pays me for those, but it's like
okay. Well, we
all
can't always be. We can all be cool.
Some of us
like
get
you.
travel comped. I don't know what to tell you. I will tell you what I get. I usually just get coffee because I just like coffee and milk, right? And I get extra milk. A latte with mint flavor is like amazing.
Okay.
No faith?
No, I have faith. I'll try it next time I go because I'll be like, I don't know what this.
I'll make it even. I'll get you more weird. Iced latte with mint flavor.
Okay. I do like it iced. Like if I'm going to a coffee shop, I'm getting iced something. Like I'm definitely not getting a regular coffee. And if I'm just I have no idea where to go, I'm getting an Americano because I know the espresso will jack me up. And I'll make it a double shot Americano. Like, do your job, caffeine.
I like
that. Is all I want.
100%. 100%.
All right. Mint is the secret sauce with iced coffee. Fair enough. Joshua Simonson agrees with you. So I guess this is fact now.
Just try it. And people
I
always look
will.
at me weird. When I get it, people are always like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Just do it."
I love when
Just
people,
make it.
first of all, in general, when people just check your decisions, it's like my favorite thing.
100%.
It's
Are
like
you
a
sure?
dare. It's like
Are
a
you sure?
dare.
Like, now I want 2.
Yeah, I am sure. In fact, triple down on that mint, my friend. Like, well, of course I'm sure. I made the decision. I'm an
I
adult.
literally just barked the order at you.
I'm an adult. I'm always sure. Always.
Yeah.
I don't. I'll
Even
be
if
wrong,
I'm not, now I'm making it up, and now
I'll
we're
be
gonna
wrong,
fight. Yeah,
but
be
I'm right.
super wrong, and you'll never know.
All right. Well, that was a fun one, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us again on another Wednesday live. We will not be back next week. So you know, the stacking of these schmivaways is gonna have to wait a week. Here's the deal. Next week, we are going our separate ways for forever. We're divorced. So I'm going on a work trip to Chicago, and I will be busy the whole time. And it goes from Tuesday to Friday. So unfortunately, I will be out of the area, not with all my stuff, so I can't do this. And then I said, Paul, will you run it? And he said, sure. And then he decided he has to go like bump elbows with super fancy folks at a fancy work dinner or something.
And then I actually have to do it again in mid-March. So bad. It's always Wednesdays. It's because people are only in the office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and no one wants to do it on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And no one's setting it up no one sets up a Tuesday dinner. That only insane people do that. You're out of your mind. So it's always going to be Wednesday. It's horrible.
Fair. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to figure something out. We're gonna owe you guys an episode.
One. We're gonna pre-record one. Is that what we said we were gonna do?
Yes.
So we're
I love this idea. Like Debo's gonna work for free. He's gonna work for free. I'll be like, all right.
You couldn't even pay.
Make sure you get super chats. Make sure you can get memberships. I'm gonna expect sell. Memberships. Can you guys imagine? I mean, that would be maybe Chaz does it. Maybe just Chaz. That would be the rudest thing. Yeah, to ask another YouTuber who's successful
instead of just like, I'll take the night off.
Can you host a podcast on a channel that is a fraction of your size? Yes.
And also just pretend to be 2 people.
Just argue with yourself. Make sure you die on lots and lots of hills. You'll be really happy. Yeah, no, that's unfortunately not going to happen, you guys. So what we're going to do, Paul was saying, is we're going to pre-record an episode. Whenever we do that, we tend to get pretty nerdy.
Oh, yeah.
So stay tuned for a nerd. I don't know what the theme will be, but it's going to be like a fun, nerdy episode. So it's just going to be another video, but it'll be like an hour long
video. We're going to leaf through my Pokemon collection.
That sounds like so much fun. Maybe we should like do something fishing related, like clean our fishing reels that we keep talking about doing and then never doing. Like that's an option. Well, we could make some plastics. I don't know. Like we'll figure something out. So yeah, the only days that we have to do this though are the day we have to do this is Monday. Like, so we're going to have to hop on Zoom one of these days. Maybe Sunday night we'll do it. Anyways, we're going to pre-record you guys an episode. Don't worry about that. So you'll have something of content going up on next Wednesday. And then we'll be back to normal after that. We've already written it in the notes that we're stacking more items onto this schmivaway. Once we hit 125, the next time we do that, we're going to dish them out. All right. So stay tuned. We'll give you, whatever that episode is going to be about later on. Triple stack the giveaway. I mean, it depends on how many episodes it takes you guys to hit 125. It could be quadruple.
Get a couple friends on.
It could be that $167 million jackpot. You don't know. 167 million lures. We'll see. We'll see where we go with this. At any rate, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Stay tuned for a video next Wednesday, though. And members, join us next Tuesday, where we will be, the 14th. Not next Tuesday. I will be gone anyways, but the 14th, where we will be live. Again, Valentine's with you boys. It's going to be a blast, and we'll see you guys then. Chaz, take us out.
Please.
He's not. What do we do? He's not.
Chaz, do your job.
Freeze. Okay, bye.